We're now cutting across to the Railways Board Chairman briefing. Listen into what they have to say about the private enterprise being brought
Private
in.
operator will have to pay to railway, and in addition to that, share of revenue will be given as per the bidding parameter. As far as testing and trials, that will be validated by RDSO as per the Indian Railway standards and specifications. So that provision has been made in the request for qualification document. Now I'll discuss about the details about the clusters. Now we have selected some clusters because this is the first phase, and basically we wanted only that 5% of the total trains being done by Indian Railway to be given to the private train operators, and therefore we have selected certain clusters, and we have kept it in view that all the places, all the important places and all the important route all over the India is covered under these clusters. So the 12 clusters have been created. When I say Bengaluru cluster, means all these trains will be placed, all these trains will be placed in Bengaluru. They will be maintained in Bengaluru, and from Bengaluru it will go to the different routes. Similarly, like Chandigarh cluster, Chennai cluster, Delhi cluster. So these are the 12 clusters which has been defined, and I can just mention to you for deciding these clusters, lot of study has gone into it. We had hired a consultant. We consulted all the zonal railways. We consulted the stakeholders, and one of the main factor and the main criteria to decide about these clusters and these routes, that we have analyzed the unmet demand of the passengers, which I mentioned that around 13%, more than 13%, 13.3% reservations are being dropped, and we have not been able to provide reservation to around 13.3% passengers. In absolute terms, around 5 crore passengers, railway has not been able to provide reserved seats. So we have analyzed all those unmet demands, and there we have tried to introduce these trains. So again, the point which I would like to re-emphasize, that whatever these additional routes and additional paths have been identified, this is in addition to what the trains are already being run. And I can mention to you that whatever trains are being run as of now, that will continue to run, and these trains are in addition to those trains. And it has been possible to introduce these additional trains because a lot of infrastructure work has been done in last 3-4 years. Lot of bottlenecks, traffic facility bottlenecks have been removed, and we wanted to add these additional trains considering the additional requirement of passengers. Just to give you a macro picture, 2019, the total number of passengers were around 8.4 billion. And basically, we are making a national rail plan, and we have hired a consultant, and after a lot of survey and study, the demand which has been forecasted for 2030 is 13 billion. And if the same figure is taken for 2040, it is 18 billion passengers. So 2030, 13 billion passengers, 2040, 18 billion passengers. So basically, there is a need to have an advanced planning. And I can just mention that last 70 years, if we would have done this type of advanced planning, the situation which we are facing today could have been avoided. So whatever railway is doing right now, we are doing advanced planning, and our objective is that we should be able to provide confirmed seats to each and every passenger. And with this objective, we are going ahead with this project, because this project will complement the infrastructure development projects which we have already taken up. Now, I have given the details of these train routes. Basically, these details are included in the RFQ document also, which is available in the public domain. So just I wanted to give these details so that you can just appreciate that all the important routes and have been considered for providing these services. And the main criteria is to see that we should be able to run additional trains on those routes where there are unmet demand, which means there are waiting lists and railway has not been able to provide reservation for those routes. So then I will just switch over to next slide, and that slide basically gives about the status of the project. What is the project status right now? Basically, a group of secretary was constituted in October 19, and lot of meetings were held with the various stakeholders. So this document which we have finalized, this has been finalized after many rounds of discussions with the stakeholders, and we have tried to ensure that the provisions in this RFQ are such that more and more stakeholders are interested to participate in this project. This document has been approved by all the government authorities, including PP. All the private-public partnership projects are required to be approved by PPPAC. PPPAC has already approved this document, and only after approval of this document, these 12 RFQs have been floated yesterday for 1st of July. For each cluster, there is one separate RFQ. A request for qualifications are given about the eligibility criteria and all. And once these RFQs are opened, we will be issuing the request for proposal for these shortlisted participants. The date which has been given in RFQ for opening of request for qualification is September, and we anticipate that within 2 months this will be finalized RFQ, and then we will be able to invite requests for qualifications, and we are expecting that financial bids will be opened somewhere between 6 to 8 months, which means we should be able to open the bids by February or March 21, and we intend to finalize the bids by April 21, and we are expecting that by April 23, that is within 2 years, the trains will be operated. Because once the tenders are finalized, the parties are fixed, they will be submitting their designs for the coaches, which should be as per the Indian standards, and then they will be taking some time in manufacturing those coaches. And I want to reiterate that all these train sets and coaches which will be procured under this project, that will be as per Make in India policy of Government of India, and these majority of the coaches will be manufactured in India. Maybe initially some of the coaches can be brought from outside, but majority of coaches, all the details have already been given in request for qualification. So majority of coaches will be manufactured in India under Make in India policy. So these were the details I just wanted to share with you. Thank you very much, and I'll be very happy to have an interaction with you, and we'll be very happy to take your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I request all of you to please keep your mic in the mute mode. There is some sound coming, and I would also request you please don't ask repetitive questions, because I have seen questions. Some of the questions are nature. So if Chairman sir has already answered those questions, so you can drop that question. So I'll start with Mr. Nishant Ketu from ANI.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.